So here with Hughie Fury at the David Lloyd gym in Bolton. First of all, how have preparations been going with yourself? Are you going to be on the undercard on the 28th of November?
Yeah, unfortunately I am going to be fighting on the 14th of November as well, and then 2 weeks later on Tyson's card on the 28th. So a busy month for me, so I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait for action, can't wait for Tyson to become the new heavyweight champion of the world. So some good times ahead. Hopefully we'll have a great Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. And do you know who your opponents are going to be on both of those dates yet, or is it
I'm not
still?
too sure on the 14th. Still looking for an opponent. On 28th we've got Nikolai Ferber, who Tyson fought. So he's going to be a good few rounds, a good test. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you've had a bit of a long build-up to this fight, especially Tyson with Waldimir pulling out.
I've not been out of camp at all. I fought the last fight, I had like a 12-week camp for that, and then I literally had a few days rest, and we was preparing for the 26th or 24th of October, and then that got pulled out, so basically stayed in training camp full time. So it's been a very long year for me.
And in terms of fighters pulling out of fights, I mean, I'm guessing it's not become, it's not an uncommon place within the Fury camp. I mean, it's happened to Tyson on a number of occasions. Has it just become something you guys have got used to now?
Yeah, we get used to it. It's just I have to find an opponent, I have to get fights, but listen, you don't let it get you down. You still stay focused and you train hard and get ready for the next person.
Definitely. And of course, the Fury Klitschko was supposed to be last weekend. A lot of people that had booked flights and booked tickets for the fight, they still turned up in Dusseldorf. I mean, what was that like seeing that across social media? Did it make you guys feel proud? I'm guessing you're wishing you could have been out there last weekend.
It does make us proud. We've got a good fan base coming all the way from England to support us. It's no better. So yeah, it's not good for the fans for the fight got postponed because a lot of people have spent the money, and it's not nice. And a lot of people have lost the money as well. And hopefully this fight here won't get pulled out, and we'll have a great night in Dusseldorf.
No, definitely. And we all know Tyson, a colourful character for boxing, something that boxing needs more of. At the last press conference did the whole Batman Joker thing. Can we expect more of those antics in the build-up to this fight?
You don't know Tyson, he could come as I don't know, a Superwoman next. You don't know what he's capable of doing. So no, Tyson's all full of surprises.
Yeah, definitely. And is there anything big for the entrance on the night? I mean, we all remember that 80,000 people at Wembley and George Groves turning up on the double-decker bus. I mean, is there anything planned for the night? The entrances?
I won't have a clue yet, so it'll be a surprise to me too, so looking forward to it.
No, definitely. And it's notoriously hard for British fighters to go over to Germany and to go over to foreign lands and get the decisions. How do you think it will go on the night? Do you think it will go the distance, or do you think it will end early?
I think Tyson will knock him out. And like Tyson says, God is in his side. And if he's meant to win this, he'll win it. It's not going to go to scores. And I believe fully in Tyson that he's got the ability to beat Klitschko. And trust me, Klitschko's never ever seen nothing like Tyson. He doesn't know what to expect. He doesn't know what's coming next. So he's confused. That's why he pulled out. Like Tyson got the edge over him. He's afraid of Tyson deep down.
And you mentioned you think it will be a stoppage. Do you think it will go? How far do you reckon it will go on the night? Do you reckon it will end quite early? Do you reckon it'll last a few rounds?
Connects, he's finished. And I reckon it will go early. And
for yourself, you mentioned it's been quite a frustrating year for yourself. What are your plans for next year?
I'm supposed to be fighting John McDermott for the English title. So I was trying to get it for this year on the 14th, but John McDermott wants a bit more time, so I'm not too sure. Hopefully fight for that next year, and then we'll see where it goes from there. And the minute the concentration is coming up at the end of this year, it's 18-0, got 2 fights, so good record, 18 fights, 18 wins, so I'll have a nice Christmas.
No, definitely. And there was talk earlier this year that a fight between yourself and Deontay Wilder could have taken place. Is that a fight you'd like to happen next year? Do you think you're ready for those world titles?
I would have took the fight with Deontay Wilder, but he only gave me 3 weeks' notice. He said we'd take the fight in September, but his team never got back to us. So he said by next year I don't think Deontay Wilder will still be world champion. So that's why I think of Deontay Wilder. He chats a lot of shit.
Do you reckon the world title he holds will be in the Fury camp?
Definitely. Tyson will get their bouts, and that's it. Furies will reign on. So I'm looking forward to that. But no, I don't like mouthing off any boxes and that, but especially with the Deontay Wilder fight, I've seen him do a few interviews, mouthing off and all that, being a big one. At the end of the day, he's someone, I'm a 21-year-old, so he must be afraid of me somehow, trying to offer out a 21-year-old.
No, definitely.
I'm looking forward to that. I've got a big future ahead of me. I train hard, dedicate myself, and I know one day I'll be a champion without a doubt.
For sure. And what do you make of the heavyweight division in England? You mentioned John McDermott is a possible fight for the English title. On the 12th of December, we've got Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte. Are those two potential opponents for yourself?
Yeah, you never know what's down the line. Leave all the fighting matching up to my dad, but yeah, I'll fight pretty much anyone. And that'll be a cracking fight against them two because we've both got a good match. And yeah, wish both the very best for that fight.
And Dillian has been training, sparring with Waldimir Klitschko in the build-up to his fight, and of course in the build-up to the fight with Tyson. How do you see that fight going between Dillian and Anthony?
It's going to be a very explosive fight. I reckon we know Dillian very well. He's been in a few training camps, and he's a very, very good, skillful powerhouse really. So if he lands on Anthony Joshua, it's game over. They're both big hitters, so it's basically who lands first. But I'm going to say it's a 50-50, and I wish both lads the very best.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck with the rest of your preparations for the 14th and for the 28th of November, and hopefully speak to you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much.